and that's good to move the chains.
Good block here on the left edge here. Nice cutback block. Sealed the edge and allowed Weiss to turn the corner and get upfield for 11 yards. And Adebegu is committed to the University of Wisconsin. He's a 6'2", 215-pound senior. Scouting reports compare him to a Zach Bond. This area would know very familiar, the former University of Wisconsin star, now with the New Orleans Saints.
Strupp with the carry from the 35. Past the 40-yard line, and it's Bird again with the tackle. Gain of 6. 2 early carries for Tyler Strupp, and this is the heavy dose that Slinger's going to want to incorporate. Tyler Strupp and Avery Kurth, both dangerous backs in the backfield.
Yeah, for sure. And Homestead is surprisingly a team that's just not defended the run very well this season. They've allowed 170 yards per game on the ground. Really not typical for a Homestead football program. So Slinger, if they're going to have a chance to win this game, running the ball is going to be certainly a key, and we're seeing it here early.
They gave to Strupp again. This time the hole closes as the penalty flag comes out onto the field. Gain of a yard up until we see what the penalty is. And there's a holding on the Owls.
Yeah, that came from the back official. The referee threw it right into where the running pile was. That's always in the area of a holding, and the official actually just motioned to the sideline what the offending player did. As he kind of looks like he just took him with 2 hands and pulled him in, and that will easily be called a holding.
So the first penalty of the game moves the ball back to the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 13 for the Owls.
When we're talking about Adebegu, they move him around quite a bit on the defensive line. They either will play him on the left side or the right side. They also do show different techniques, a 2-point stance, a 3-point, or even a 4-point technique.
Driving back to pass is Fairman, throws a rifle, and it's caught. Avery Kurth with the catch right over the defender. What a confident throw from Fairman, and it may be enough to move the chains.
That was a risky pass. Number 41 for Homestead, and that's Derek Rembert, was sitting right there in the pass lane, and it looks like the passes went right through his hands, and it was enough for a first down.
Gain of 14, just high enough over the outstretched arms of the defender. Great effort on the coverage, but the ball was thrown perfectly.
Well, like we mentioned a little bit ago, Furman, I think, has really kind of blossomed these last couple of weeks. Was 10 of 20 for 223 yards and 4 touchdowns, and 223 yards and those 4 touchdowns were both season highs. So he's been playing pretty well at quarterback these last couple of weeks.
From the 46-yard line, they give on the jet sweep. This is Aiden Dodderman. He gets a couple blocks. Dodderman, first down and more. Past the 40. Cuts back inside. Taken down near the 35. Huge gain. 19 yards and a first down.
I expect we're going to see a lot of Aiden Dodderman again. We saw quite a bit of him last week in his return to the lineup after he missed the Whitefish Bay game because of the contact tracing. I think you're going to see another heavy dose of number 3, who had 187 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. I think you're going to see him doing a lot more in the run game this week, knowing that Homestead is just not as good as they normally are defending the run.
First down they give. This is the first carry for Avery Kurth. He's taken down in the backfield. This is Jackson Skiesback, and I am sorry if I butchered that name. We're doing our best. Great tackle from the senior. I'm going to say Sipzak. Nick, help me out here before we get going on.
I'm looking at my pronunciation. What number?
Number 7.
Shipshack was the pronunciation.
Shipshack. I'm writing that down right now. My apologies to the Shipshack family if you're watching. And you can hear now I've got it right. As we get the second down and long, great tackle for a loss of 4. Empty backfield. Fairman all day to throw. Fires just over the outstretched hands of his receiver. He got tipped actually on the attempt by Claude Springer to haul it in.
Claude only just has the 1 catch for 9 yards this season, so Slinger's really going to try and utilize everybody that they can in their offense.
One of their typical pass-catching tight ends, Brock Bingen, is not here tonight. So Claude Springer filling into the role for the Owls. 3rd down and 14 from the 38-yard line.
I could see Slinger going for this if they make it 4th and less than 5.
Play action. Fairman rolls out left. Fires to the sideline, intended for Dodderman, over and incomplete. So it's 4th down and 14. We'll see what the decision is.
I think you're just too far back at this point. Sure as heck looks like they're going to go for it here because Furman's still trying to get the play here on the near sideline. I thought that was well covered on the back end by the secondary of Homestead. Just nowhere to throw it. There was a player that kind of settled into the middle of the field, couldn't catch the number, but by then Furman had his eyes set on Dodderman here on the near sideline.
They need to get it down to the 24-yard line to convert. Fairman steps up in the pocket, fires, incomplete, just shy of his intended target, Avery Kurth. And the Owls, turnover on downs.
Yeah, Homestead played more of a prevent defense there, making sure that they kept everything in front of them and not past the 1st down marker. Good coverage on the backside by the Highlanders.
So from the 38-yard line, the Highlanders with their first drive of the evening. Starting off with a signal calling is number 9, junior Ryan Quinn.
6'4", 180 pounds. He's a senior. He and Jack Witherland have split the duties at quarterback this year for the Highlanders.
On 1st down, drops back to pass, and it is caught. This is Aiden Reese with the reception. Past the 45. And on 1st down, they get about 7 yards. It's a quick drop back and pass. When you saw Homestead's tape, for those who are unfamiliar with how they play, what is their style? What do they mainly like to use when they attack a defense?
It was interesting because they don't really had any tells that they had outside of what I was able to pick up on tape, and I can share that here after this snap.
Throw again, this time to the left side, caught, but an immediate tackle.
What a great play that was.
Seward with the catch. Looks like Tyler Stanek was in there for the tackle.
What a terrific play that was, out on the outside all by himself. Now, as far as what Homestead does offensively, you'll see a lot of different looks out of them. They'll see shotgun under center. They do a lot of wing, inverted wishbone. They certainly like to mix it up, but a couple things that did pop out to me on tape was if they're under center, they tend to skew more toward the run game, where in shotgun, they will tend to throw the ball more. Not to say that they won't do a run out of a shotgun, but they just seem to do more runs when they're under center and more passes when they're in the shotgun.
3rd down and 4. Quinn drops back to pass. This is caught again by Seward. Standing with the hit. Depends on the initial spot of the catch.
I think they're going to give him enough. He was right across the 48 and to the 49.
We'll see where the spot is. Sticks haven't moved yet.
I thought he was pretty clear. He was standing on the 49. The 1st down marker is the 48. Looks pretty clear to me.
There's a penalty
there's a penalty flag down.
midfield.
Okay. The official was blocking my vantage point.
Same here. So the ball's marked at the 49-yard line, which would be enough for the 1st down. I wonder if they're discussing the man downfield. It did look like on that screen play, the right tackle was kind of moving forward. Not sure if he passed the significant amount of yardage.
Well, offensive pass interference.
And that's a huge call, which would have been a 3rd down conversion. This will move them back. See how they address the penalty.
I mean, you obviously accept it if you're Slinger. Really sure what the
I'm not sure what took so long for the Slinger coaching staff. So the penalty was from the 44-yard line, so they'll move the ball back to the 34.
No, it's a 15-yard penalty, so it moves it to the 29.
Also, I'm still on college rules. My apologies. We haven't seen many penalties, actually. It's been a pretty clean season, so...
Yeah, really, with the exception of maybe week 1, I thought Slinger was hit with a lot of penalties, but... And I remember us talking after that game, is like there was going to be a lot of things I know Slinger was going to clean up, and I think the penalties have certainly been one of that. There seems to be a lot of confusion here with Slinger. I count... Maybe they do have enough players, but it just didn't seem like they were in good communication or understanding of what they wanted to do.
Homestead now needs 19 yards to convert on third down. Quinn drops back to pass, lets it fly. Intercepted at the 45. There's a flag down on the return past the 35. Taken down at the 30.
And that's in the area of a defensive pass interference.
Avery Kurth hauled in the interception.
There was some contact between Kurth and the receiver. It was just hard to tell if it was egregious contact or not.
So another discussion from the officials.
If I remember correctly, if this is a deep defensive pass interference, I believe that would make it an automatic first down.
It is a defensive pass interference. And it looks like...
So really, the last 2 plays, let's just race them because we're right back to where we started 2 plays ago.
Right. It looks like they will repeat third down now back at the 44-yard line. So not an automatic first down penalty. Third time's a charm. Third down from the 44. Quinn fakes, fires for Seward, and it's picked off again. This time by Blake Durbin. No flags on the field, and the Owls will start their next drive.
Great
adjustment.
Yeah, great on-field adjustment by Durbin. That ball hung up there. It was underthrown. Great coverage by Durbin too to make the interception. He made it a point to make sure he turned around and looked for the football, which is what got the corner on the previous play for the defensive pass interference.
From the 26-yard line, 5 minutes, 23 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Strupp swallowed up in the backfield. Lucas Hart got back there for Homestead, and that was Tyler Strupp. Got a couple Tylers that are impact players on this team. Tyler Strupp with a yard carry, second down and 9.
Defensively, Homestead does like to play a lot of man coverage, but like they do on offense, and I'll finish that thought here in a minute.
Stanek lowers his shoulder. This is not Stanek, that's Strupp. Excuse me. This is rough start for me tonight, huh, Nick?
Yeah, it's a little chilly.
That's Tyler Strupp. That's strike 2. I'm not getting it wrong again. He got past the 30-yard line. Ball spotted between the 31 and the 32. It'll be third down and about 5.
Well, as far as what we're to finish the previous thought, Homestead is like their offense, likes to mix it up a little bit with a lot of different defensive fronts. They'll do a 3-3, a 4-3, a 3-4, a 4-4.
Fairman will throw, fires just out of reach for Donnerman. He had some real estate in front of him. It'll be fourth down and 5.
Yeah, he did. He had the corner beats on the slant run to go for the middle, but Furman just led him too far.
Looks like the Owls will punt.
And that's 4 straight misses by Furman in here in the pass game.
So back to return for the Highlanders is Corey Frick. Standing inside his 35-yard line. Derek Weiss to punt. time, lets it fly. This is a high punt. And an early hit. Here comes the flag. Durbin got there just a second too soon.
That's a free 15 yards for Homestead there. That's a mental mistake there on special teams by the Owls. Fortunately, Six is hearing from it from the sideline.
So as the ball moves forward for the Highlanders, 3 minutes, 52 seconds left to play in the opening quarter. Homestead will start their second drive from the 47-yard line, a few yards ahead of where their last drive stalled. And now at quarterback, their other quarterback, Jack Worthland, splits time with Quinn under center, and now they go to more of a pistol look. It's a give. Joseph Ullman on the carry. And Tyler Stanek to make the tackle, a gain of 2. Second down and 8.
On tape, Worthington looked like he had the better arm. It was a little bit more consistent, a little more accurate than Ryan Quinn was. But Quinn is bigger than Jack Worthington from a size standpoint. So, and when I saw it on tape, Quinn was not as nervous or was more prone to run with the ball. Even I remember watching on the game against East, he was not afraid to drop the shoulder and plow over defenders when I watched the tape against East.
On second down, they give to Ullman again. Great job by Homestead to pave the way for Ullman past the 45. It'll be third down and 2.
Ullman is second in the North Shore Conference with rushing yards this season with 514, and he has 8 touchdowns this season. So he's clearly their workhorse in the ground game. He rushed for 17 yards and rushed 17 times for 58 yards last week in Homestead's win against West Bend East.
Well, they gave him an extra yard than what we anticipated. Third down and 1 instead. They'll give to Ullman again. He's got the first down. Tackle made by Luke German. For the first time tonight, the sticks move for Homestead. They're in business at the 40-yard line.
And Homestead is a pretty decent running football team with 163 yards per game coming in. So they are not ones to mix it. They're not shy to mix it up for sure. And they average about 135 yards in the pass game. So pretty balanced for the most part is Homestead on offense.
So Homestead will snap this ball just under 2 minutes left to play in the first quarter. More promising on the second drive for Homestead is now an empty backfield for Worthland.
Double tight end set too.
They give to Ullman on the jet sweep, cuts upfield. Great job by the Owls in the pursuit. Tackle for the Owls. Second down and 9 after the gain of 1.
And that's the thing with Homestead too, is they're just not as big up front as we're used to seeing. I mean, their guards are both less than 200 pounds. And their center is about 6 foot, 245 pounds. I mean, they've got pretty big tackles up the middle. They're not very big, but yet they still find ways to be able to run the ball.
Play action, roll out, and Worthland throws just shy of his intended target. Intended for Aiden Rice. It'll be third down and 9.
Kind of saw Worthland do a little jump pass there. Saw him do that a number of times in the film that I watched. There was a couple where he actually was throwing almost like a fadeaway, and he threw it 35, 40 yards downfield and hit a perfect strike to receivers. So I said, I mentioned before, I think it looks like Worthing has the better arm and is a little more accurate, and he's been less turnover prone, unlike his counterpart, Ryan Quinn, who's thrown 2 interceptions this season.
Third down and 9. Worthland bobbles the snap, now rolling out right, pressure coming, and he is going to be taken down! Tyler Strupp! And no one was stopping Strupp. A great blitz call from the Owls, and back in midfield, Homestead forced to punt it away.
Came from his middle linebacker spot. No one picked him up front or in the backfield. That was an easy pursuit of the quarterback for Tyler Strupp. It doesn't get much easier than that. Slinger makes the big stop on third down, and that may be the last play of this quarter as we're at 12 seconds to go. And Homestead doesn't appear to be in a big rush to snap this off.
And that will be the end of the first quarter. After one, it's 0-0. Deadlock tie in Slinger's home finale. Slinger Gridiron appreciates our opportunity to announce our community business partners' financial support of player safety for all of Slinger football's players throughout our Triple S program. Thanks to our touchdown sponsors, the Washington County Insider, Fast Urban Advertising, Gardner Schofield Chiropractic, Wilkie's Plumbing, Smiley C-Store, and Slinger Super Speedway. Our field goal sponsors, thanks to AutoTech, E.H. Wolf, Metalcraft, Northbrook Men's Group, Craft Masonry, and Subway of Allenton. Also, thanks to our first down sponsors, Gurn's Bar, HFR Electric, Midwest Beverages, Phil and Chill, and Cheryl's Club 175. So an interesting first quarter, Nick. We've seen both teams show us different things. We've seen a lot of different packages in offense and defense. Both of these teams aren't usually the most athletic teams in the conference, so these are two programs that are used to having to go into deep playbooks as the season goes on. Like you said at the beginning of the game, it's such a chess match already after the first 12 minutes.
Right, and it's mostly because they have different varieties that they like to throw at their opponents. There's not like a set characteristic like we saw last week against Hartford. Hartford was very set on certain things that they did, especially defensively, where they basically play man coverage the entire game. Homestead and Slinger are a little different. They work toward what the other team's strengths are, and they try to compensate for those with whatever schemes that they're trying to accomplish offensively and defensively. And I think we've seen a good chunk of that here so far on both sides, which is why it seems it's not really a soul-moving first quarter, but neither team has really showcased that they're in rhythm just yet.
So both teams have had explosive plays, but we've also seen some rather negatively explosive penalties. It definitely feels like, again, going back to the statement we heard from Coach Jacklin, every single game, even going back to Cedarburg for the season opener, stake-free football is going to end up winning this ball game.
And both teams already have a turnover tonight.
Jack Gresham will boot it away. Hayden Dodderman back to return. We'll see if he takes it. He lets it roll inside the 20, inside the 15, and out of bounds near the 14. This will be the deepest back the Owls have to start a drive so far tonight. The last 4 pass attempts have been incomplete for the Owls. What are you saying right now to Drew Fairman? Are you calling some shorter passes, going back to the run game? How do you ease him back into a flow?
I think you do kind of what you mentioned. You do kind of try to get that run game going a little bit, but also maybe try to do a few shorter passes. I think a couple of the incomplete passes that he's had is he was trying to go for a shot. Like he had Aiden Donnerman that was open for what easily would have been a 20-25-yard completion on a slant, but just led him too far.
The first down they give is Xavier Kurth. Fights through a tackle, past the 25, taken down at the 29-yard line. A gain of about 15 yards and a first down for the Owls.
Kurth had a big game last week against Hartford, rushed for 121 yards and a touchdown. A week after just getting 18 yards and 17 carries against Whitefish Bay. So hopefully Slinger get that ground game going with Kurth and also with Tyler Strupp. And Strupp's got 12 yards on 4 carries here early on.
They give it to Kurth in motion. Strupp the lead block, and my goodness, what a lead block for number 10, Tyler Strupp. As Kurth is tripped up from behind, my eyes were glued to number 10 as he laid a great block.
Absolutely. That was, like I said, perfect block, leading out front, got Kurth a couple extra yards by doing so. Makes it 2nd and 4.
The drive that started back in the L14 is already at the 35. Give Kurth again. This time he's met soon after he passed the line of scrimmage. Fought forward for a gain of 3. Tackle made by Shitshack for the Highlanders. 3rd down and 1.